Channel 4, KXLY-TV, Spokane, Coeur d'Alene. And this is News 4 at 11.
Iraq comes clean and tells UN inspectors about a facility that used to manufacture biological weapons. Good evening. That story in just a moment, but first, this just in. Snohomish County authorities have arrested a Spokane man for investigation of murder.
Authorities say bones found over the weekend in western Washington have led to this arrest. We will have more on the story in just a moment. Now on to the story from Iraq. No one knows exactly why Iraq decided to go public. The admission that a germ warfare program existed doesn't come as a surprise. ABC News reported on it 2.5 years ago. By the way, it was made public. It didn't surprise UN inspectors. An Iraqi newspaper made it all clear in a front-page article. Iraq says it engaged in secret germ warfare research for 4 years, but abandoned the program after the invasion of Kuwait last August. Iraq says all germ agents were destroyed, but UN officials aren't buying. They wonder how much more is in hiding.
UN inspectors have learned the truth is elusive in Iraq. It's a lesson a Northwest man says he learned as a soldier in the Gulf and as an Iraqi POW. Jeff Ray has the story of Army Staff Sergeant Dan Stamaris, who is still recovering from the wounds of war.
5 months ago, they were welcomed home. American POWs freed after the Gulf War. Among them was Army Staff Sergeant Dan Stamaris. Magazines, newspapers, and TV stations carried pictures of his first moments with his family. His salute was seen around the world.
To receive all the support from the American people that I did, I was just really proud to be an American. It just really felt good to be home.
Now, after coming home to America, Stamaris has come home to his family in Cheney. He's still recovering from a broken pelvis and shattered leg, wounds suffered when his Black Hawk helicopter crashed while trying to rescue a downed pilot. Doctors say Stamaris is lucky to be alive.
When I tell them we hit the ground at 150 miles an hour, they just go, you know, it's just a miracle that anybody even survived the crash.
For Renee Stamaris, it's like her husband came back from the dead. The Army did not know he'd been captured, and officers told her he'd been killed.
I was just devastated. Part of me didn't want to believe it, but the other part was saying, you know, you have to believe it.
It said truth is the first victim of war. It gets lost in the clouds of battle. The rumors Stamaris heard as a soldier and the promises he was offered as a POW taught him to wait for those clouds to clear.
I don't take things right at face value, you know. I'll wait before I make a judgment on a lot of things, just to see what's going on.
In Cheney, Jeff Ray, News 4.
Stamaris says he hopes to continue his career in the Army. Doctors figure he'll be almost recovered by next spring.
Democratic congressional leaders will open a formal investigation into a 10-year-old controversy. Its purpose to find out if, in the 1980 presidential election, President Reagan cut a deal with Iran. Cokie Roberts reports.
No sooner had Speaker Foley announced the investigation into the hostage question than he was forced to defend it against charges of political game playing.
I think it's not a waste of time to put this matter to rest, and as I say, President Bush, President Reagan, President Carter all think that the matter should be put to rest.
So far, it's been a story that will not die. The allegation that Ronald Reagan's campaign director, William Casey, conspired with the Iranians to make sure there would be no October surprise. No last-minute release of U.S. hostages that could land Jimmy Carter back in the White House. Though Presidents Reagan and Bush have adamantly denied the accusations, recent accounts revived the issue and raised the ire of some Democrats who've pressed for an investigation charging that the 1980 election was stolen. Though Democratic leaders said today they don't think George Bush was involved then, Republicans contend the Democrats are trying to reap votes in 1992 by raking over this ground.
There's nothing there, and the people back home don't give two hoots about it. What happened 10 years ago, Jimmy Carter lost the election.
Democratic leaders, including Speaker Foley, were reluctant to press for this investigation. They don't want their party to get mired down in an old, hard-to-prove story. So this inquiry is likely to keep very quiet until and unless something solid is found. Cokie Roberts, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
White House spokesman Marlin Fitzwater says there should be a probe if there's something worth investigating. But a political witch hunt, he says, would be foolish.
As we told you just moments ago, Snohomish County authorities have arrested a Spokane man for investigation of a Western Washington murder. Authorities say bones found over the weekend in Western Washington are those of a young girl killed several years ago. Spokane County jail authorities say 38-year-old Michael K. Green has been arrested. KSTW News in Tacoma reports that Green will be extradited to Spokane tomorrow. We'll have more tomorrow on News 4 at 5. Well, you can forget that story about the captain going down with his ship, because during Sunday's sinking of the Greek liner Oceanos off South Africa, the captain was one of the first to take to the lifeboats. He claims he had to oversee the rescue effort from the shore. In fact, passengers say much of the crew abandoned ship in the first wave, taking most of the motorized life rafts. Fortunately, all 570 on board were rescued, and they credit the ship's entertainers for keeping everyone calm during that mishap. The Canadian Coast Guard will use a remote-control device to pump leaking oil out of a sunken Japanese fishing vessel. The original plan was to use a 3-man mini-sub, but that idea was scratched due to worries about the sub getting tangled in drift nets still attached to the sunken ship. The new equipment, nicknamed Scorpio, has robotic arms and a video camera. It will attach a tube through which the oil can be pumped to the surface.
Most of the 2,500 seabirds that have been coated with oil from that spill have died. But some Spokane volunteers are doing what they can to try to boost the survival rate. Lisa Miles Conrad is a teacher at Audubon School in Spokane. She and several others from our area went to Kirkland over the weekend to help save some of the birds. Volunteers say they're happy to give their time to help the animals. So far, the U.S. Coast Guard has spent nearly $4 million on cleanup.
The State Department of Natural Resources says a dead bird found nailed to a sign in Snohomish County is a northern spotted owl. But scientists say a gunshot wound prevented them from determining its sex. The department will pay $2,000 to anyone with information about the crime. A conviction carries a maximum penalty of a year in jail and a $100,000 fine. Meanwhile, the effort to preserve spotted owl habitat continues, though a proposal today to scale back forest land for the owl is drawing protests from environmentalists. The Fish and Wildlife Service wants to downsize the owl sanctuary from over 11 million acres to 8.2 million acres. Critics call the refiguring the biggest land grab in the nation's history. But the service says it still means 33,000 fewer timber jobs by 1995.
Even with fewer timber jobs, Washington State is still attracting newcomers from California in significant numbers. And they're no longer the stereotypical yuppies driving big BMWs. A research group says the new wave from California is made up of service workers between 22 and 34 years old, making $17,000 to $23,000 a year. Coming up, a man who'll never attempt to siphon gas again. We'll tell you why.
More abortion protesters in Kansas. It's the continuation of a several-week demonstration.
And Model A buffs show their stuff this week in Spokane.
You're watching KXLY News 4 at 11 with Rick Douglas, Karen Kelly, meteorologist Steve Mumm, and Bud Namick.
When Montana sings, I hear the tune. The melody comes back to mind. Montana.
Share the glow of autumn splendor. Colorful, natural, uncrowded. This fall, visit Glacier Country, home of Glacier National Park. For a free travel guide, call 1-800-338-5072.
I feel the country in my heart when Montana sings.
Go to your local XL food store and enter to win a Regal 170 boat with 85 horsepower motor and trailer. Enjoy summer in a Regal boat. It's fast, sleek, and loaded with fun. Pick up your entry forms on bottles of RC Cola, 7-Up, Squirt, and Dr. Pepper now through August 12th. No purchase necessary. The winner will be randomly drawn on August 13th. Presented by XL Food Store and 7-Up Bottling Company. Pick up your entry form at your nearest XL food store today.
At Ernst, we believe in giving you the right price, not just low prices, but real value. That means having the brightest, best organized stores with the best selection of the brand names you trust in stock when you need them.
Make watering easier with this 50-foot 5/8-inch hose from Colorite, just $5.93. And add beauty to your deck or garden with this 16-inch color bowl from Malmo, just $9.99.
And Ernst will beat any competitor's price by 5% guaranteed. Ernst, always the right price, always.
Next time on Star Trek, The Next Generation.
Today, I am a warrior.
Lieutenant Worf takes part in a savage Klingon ritual. Commander Riker faces a vicious feud with his father.
We could clear the air once and for all.
You're on. Each one confronts a do-or-die test of courage.
This fight is all we have left.
On Star Trek, The Next Generation.
Tuesday on KXLY-TV 4.
Anti-abortion activists in Kansas just won't listen.
Their protests continue today into its fourth week with more than 66 arrests. Despite the arrests and the warnings of a federal judge, members of the anti-abortion group Operation Rescue persist in blocking the entrances of abortion clinics. Some pro-choice demonstrators tried to remove the Operation Rescuers but were pushed back. Judge Patrick Kelly said he'll use any means possible, including filling Kansas jails, to break the blockades.
Funerals for the alleged victims of Jeffrey Dahmer are being held nearly every day in Milwaukee. Dahmer has confessed to killing 17 men and 1 boy. And now the police department is being blamed for not intervening sooner. On May 27th, a 14-year-old naked and bleeding Laotian boy was found stumbling outside Dahmer's apartment. Black neighbors told police the boy needed help. Police called it a homosexual quarrel. The boy's family has filed a $3 million lawsuit.
A Spokane psychologist says he'll appeal a decision to ban him from practicing for 10 years. A state licensing board found Ed Deathridge guilty of serious ethics violations last week. Deathridge refused to say anything more, and he expects the appeal to be filed in Superior Court. 42-year-old Daniel McElfish, he's the man on the left of your screen, has been accused of a weekend murder. Police say an argument led to the shooting death of 36-year-old Ronald Pennington. Pennington's body was found in a wooded area near Spangle. McElfish is accused of second-degree murder.
A serious car accident tonight near Gonzaga University. Police say the driver of a pickup truck ran a red light at the intersection of Sharp and Hamilton and crashed broadside into a car. The force of the crash sent the car into tables outside Arnie's restaurant, and the young woman driver suffered serious head injuries. The man driving the pickup was not injured, nor was anyone at the restaurant. Police say tomorrow is the young woman's birthday. Violence and accidents in South Dakota this week. It's the 51st annual Black Hills Motor Classic. Some 200,000 bikers from all over the country are hitting the town of Sturgis. Most are on their Harley-Davidsons. It's the motorcycle of choice at this get-together. Last year's bash was said to be the biggest ever. This year's is expected to be larger.
Owners of Ford Model A's from 5 western states and Canada are gathering in Spokane this week. The cars are popping up on streets all over town, but they were all in downtown Spokane tonight. More than 160 classics are in town for the yearly regional Model A meet that lasts through Thursday.
It's fun. The looks that people give you. Some people drive by and they act like they don't see it. And other people, they grin and get a big smile on their face because they're happy to see neat old cars like that.
Tomorrow's activities will take them on the road to Coeur d'Alene for a display near the city dock, and later they'll go cruising on the water instead of on those skinny tires.
Well, the Mariners on the road tonight in Oakland.
And playing one of the 3 teams in front of them in the West as they make that drive for the pennant. We'll be back with highlights of the game down in the Bay Area tonight. We'll also check in with what's going on with the Seahawks and other NFL action tonight. Stay with us.
Sells more home improvement products than anyone in the state of Washington.
And it starts right here, our warehouse. Ernst buys in huge quantities.
So you always get the right price. Guaranteed.
Get impulse and oscillating action with this Rainbird Impulsolator Sprinkler, only $11.97. And yard work is a snap with a powerful Weed Eater 14-inch electric line trimmer, just $98.
Sure, Ernst has a warehouse, only we don't make his shop in it.
Ernst. Always the right price. Always.
Meet another satisfied customer from Wendell Ford Nissan Isuzu.
Well, Steve took us around and showed us van after van, and he worked with us, you know, because we had, a certain amount of money that we could spend and the amount of car payments that we wanted to make a month. We finally found a van that we could afford, and he didn't pressure us into it.
We think you'll like us too. Test drive us today. Wendell Ford Nissan Isuzu.
We really had a nice experience with Wendell, and we thought they did a really good job.
Can you guess the name of the hottest Pizza Hut pizza?
Give me a hint.
In case you haven't guessed, it's our deliciously different Hawaiian pizza. Now try a medium Hawaiian pizza for just $4 with the purchase of any medium pizza.
Book 'em, Pizza Hut.
Let me see those financials. You know, these are all good proposals.
I'm really impressed with these new guys. Do great work.
They all look great, but we can only finance one.
There's one significant difference in these proposals. These two are served by Washington Water Power electricity. The others aren't. And this one is the only one that has natural gas.
If everything else is equal, then I think we should go with the one with natural gas and water power electric.
Now that was easy.
Sell a new home today without gas, you've got a problem.
For the Mariners, every game is crucial this month as they play 20 straight against the American League West opponents. Tonight, the start of a 3-game series in Oakland, and the Mariners playing some good defense in this game. In the fourth, Oakland leading 1-0, and the A's are threatening to go up 2-0. Mike Bordick with the hit. Brooke Jacoby tries to score from second. Pee Wee Briley guns him down on one hop from left, and that ended the fourth inning, still 1-0. Ron Darling making his first pitching start for Oakland since being traded from Montreal. Fools Alvin Davis badly there. He gave up just 2 hits in 7 innings. Bottom of the fifth, more Mariner defense. Ricky Henderson with a slap to right. Jay Buhner runs it down. He's doing it with the bat and the glove this month, but the A's with too many hits tonight, 12 in all. Brooke Jacoby knocks home Willie Wilson here. It was 2-0. Oakland goes on to the 3-0 win. First place Minnesota was a winner tonight, so the Mariners are now 6.5 out of first, but they're just 1.5 games out of second place. Elsewhere in the American League tonight, Milwaukee at Baltimore. Catch of the night, the Brewers' Darryl Hamilton charging in for the pretty snag against Randy Milligan. Brewers beat the Orioles 6-5. And the big stick of the night belonged to Glenn Braggs of the Cincinnati Reds. Here against the Dodgers, he takes Ramon Martinez deep into left field for a home run. First hit for the Reds in this game, but it was certainly not the last. Reds trailed 2-1 here, but in the 6th, Bragg puts one out in left center. A 2-run shot, number 10 on the year, number 2 on the night, and the Reds win it big, 10-6. Spokane Indians tonight in Eugene. What a great comeback. Down 3-1 in the 9th inning. Sean Robertson knocks a 3-run shot out in the top of the 9th, and Spokane wins it 4-3. At the Pan Am Games in Cuba, the U.S. women's basketball team got back on the winning track, and the men's team continued to roll. The men clobbered Venezuela today, 91-66. Christian Leitner fights for the rebound in the hoop here. The ladies team that lost to Brazil yesterday beat Argentina 97-40. Andrea Lloyd had 11 points for the Americans. Cuban baseball team showed no mercy on Mexico. The Cubans winning this game 22-0. The U.S. baseball team beat the Dominican Republic today 6-1. Well, it was promoted as a Super Bowl rematch. Actually, it was more of a match between the guys who sat on the bench at the Super Bowl as the New York Giants and Buffalo Bills met for a preseason game on Monday Night Football. New York Giants coach Ray Hardy, no pressure on this guy. He's just taking over the defending Super Bowl champs, and he trailed in the second quarter when the Bills scored on a 16-yard touchdown run by Carwell Gardner. 10-7, and Marv Levy liked it. Maybe Carwell's going to make the team. That he does. But the Giants came back in the second half. Nice touch pass from Jeff Hostetler. Nice catch and run by Maurice Carthon. 47-yard gain, and he might have scored if he hadn't tripped over the 10-yard line. He just flat fell down, but the Giants got the touchdown, and Handley got his first NFL win. But preseason games mean nothing. Just ask the Seattle Seahawks, who blew their first outing against Phoenix Saturday. Last year, the Hawks were picked by most to finish last in the AFC West, and they almost made the playoffs. This year, the experts are picking them last again, but hey, that doesn't bother quarterback Dave Craig.
That's fine. We're going to sneak up on people, you know, and our defense played extremely well last year. Our offense has to catch up a little bit, and we're going to have a good football team, so I don't care what anybody else says. In fact, I like it that way. We can sneak up on people.
We love it that way.
There it is.
The guy who jumped in there is safety Eugene Robinson, one of the leaders of that defense that carried the Seahawks last season in spite of several injuries. Can they do it again?
Now that we got a lot of guys who are healthy, I'm really excited. Terry Wooden and those guys are back. T. Woods, Rufus Porter, and Dave Wyman. He was hurt the first part of the year, so we got everybody's healthy. So now we're looking to go ahead and do some big things.
And good news for the Seahawks today. Fullback John L. Smith ended his 18-day holdout. He was trying to renegotiate a contract. He reported today $25,000 in fines, and he says he's happy to be back and ready to play football.
Can you imagine? I mean, some people don't even make that in a year.
I know. The fines that he's paying,
yeah,
they don't make
fines,
that.
That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's not going to do much for his alleged financial problems, too. Well, the weather today, a little bit of rain here and there.
Actually a gorgeous evening, but don't let that fool you into thinking that some thunderstorms still don't have their sights set on us. The forecast coming up next.
There's a quiet revolution going on just outside your door. Silently, unnoticed, millions of tiny workers are toiling round the clock, filtering dust and pollutants from the environment, saving precious topsoil, protecting our groundwater, even manufacturing the very air we breathe. All without fanfare, without recognition, without complaint. Grass. It's great stuff. We're the Intermountain Grass Growers Association, and we thought you should know.
Do you have a light menu?
We have several light burgers, each with just a fraction of the fat and calories. Which one would you like?
You call that a light menu?
Only one fast food restaurant offers a real choice of light food. It's Arby's new light menu, including 3 sandwiches under 300 calories and 94% fat-free. There's the lean, slow-roasted roast beef, turkey, and chicken with lettuce and tomatoes served on multi-grain buns. There is a difference in fast food. It's Arby's.
There's good news.
The publisher wants to see my article?
Until Balky makes a mistake.
Cousin, it's just what of a hairball?
That could get Larry fired.
You better get out your umbrella, because the spit's gonna hit the fan.
Now they're out on a limb trying to save his job.
If they see us, they'll know we were trying to break in, and then we'll be in big trouble. We're up to our armpits in sheep dip right now.
Perfect strangers.
Tuesday on KXLY-TV 4.
A little bit of rain on and off today did not amount to much, but more in the overnight forecast. Let's take a look at some folks who are wondering maybe if the windshield wipers work on those Model A's after all these years. They may come in handy here very shortly. Let's take a look first off at my overnight forecast. Look for some scattered showers and thunder showers coming your way, particularly from the Spokane area on down to the south toward the Oregon border. 61, that overnight low, and it's going to be a little bit muggy once again. Take a look at the latest radar and show you where the showers and thunder showers are at present. We've got activity going on down around the Lewiston area, toward the Walla Walla area, up toward Pullman, Washington, and take a look at the latest upper air charts, moving these thunder showers to the north at about 10 miles per hour. So down around Pullman area, Moscow area, Lewiston, Clarkston, and even up to the Spokane area, out into Idaho. We're going to see these showers continue to move north. They will weaken as the next few hours progress, but particularly down here in the southern sections of Washington and out into eastern Idaho, still some chance for some strong thunder showers. Some of these have produced some heavy rains, very briefly, gusty winds, even some small hail. So down here in the southern sections, and again, watch where that bright white area is. That's that area of thunder showers that is working its way on up tonight. So we could have a couple of storms still to get out of our systems. Now, as we head into tomorrow morning, check out my custom forecast map. For the morning hours, we'll actually take a break from most of the wet weather. Very, very slow moving and fairly dry, cool front hanging in there, but generally partly cloudy skies and dry. As we head into the afternoon hours, though, the temperature's warming up into the 80s. We'll see a few thunder showers popping up again, though mostly out toward eastern Idaho and into Montana, a little more widely scattered, though we could see even a slight chance for thunder showers out into eastern Washington as well. Right now, partly cloudy skies in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. It's going to be another warm night. We're still at 68, 65 in Coeur d'Alene. The relative humidity real high for that kind of muggy, slightly uncomfortable feel. Not a lot of wind. The barometer at this hour actually rising temporarily. I think it'll be falling again shortly as those showers get a little bit closer. And there's just the minor dent we made in the rain gauge today. High temperature this afternoon, way below normal at only 75. Morning low in at 64. Checking the temperatures out there right now around the region show us another warm night in store, still into the 70s throughout much of central Washington, a little cooler into the 60s the further east you go. Checking the rest of the country right now, still some big storms firing up along this frontal boundary through the nation's midsection, some thunderstorms touching off some flooding around San Antonio, Texas, and pretty wet, nasty out over the front range of the Rockies from Colorado on down into New Mexico as well. And then there's our problem area up into the Pacific Northwest. Tomorrow, behind that frontal system, a little cooler air filtering in, mostly 80s here in the orange shaded areas. Now, around the region we take in northern Idaho, you're still going to have some scattered showers and thunder showers tonight, tapering off, mostly partly cloudy tomorrow. Western Montana, the same story with the PM thunder showers popping up. Calgary and Edmonton, afternoon and evening. That's when you can expect to see your showers and thunder showers as well. Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, overnight, recapping that forecast. Look for some scattered thunder showers here, showers through the next few hours, 61 the overnight low. Wake-up weather tomorrow morning, partly cloudy, mid-60s, and into the afternoon, still partly cloudy, a slight chance for those showers and thunder showers popping up again, 85 degrees as we warm on up. And that's where we're headed in that extended forecast, into the upper 80s and around 90 as we head on toward the end of the week.
It's too muggy for me.
It's kind of tough to get the house cooled off, get a good night's sleep, but tonight's the best we'll do for a while.
All right, thanks.
So enjoy it. Rick.
Yeah.
Coming up, a really tasteless story.
And speaking of tasteless, what do you think Madonna's doing nowadays? Find out next.
You know, seafood's a lot like art. I don't know much about it, but I know what I like. And I like Louis Kemp. This guy makes seafood easy, delicious, and ready to eat. That's the genius of Louis Kemp. He does it all, so I can't make a mistake. With Crab Delights, I can create an intriguing stir-fry. With Lobster Delights, an American classic. Louis Kemp has mastered seafood, so I can make a seafood masterpiece.
Louis Kemp, all you need to know about seafood.
You've seen what Les Schwab can do when it comes to custom wheels. What's really exciting, Les Schwab has dedicated the entire month of August to feature a whole new look for pickups, vans, and 4x4s. In tires, all seasons to deep traction. Wild Country, the new XRT, Open Country, Wildcat, Baja XT, Buckshot Mudders. In custom wheels, all the new looks and styles. What a way to give your pickup, van, or 4x4 a fresh new look. Happening now at Les Schwab.
Hi, I'm Tracy Ruiz Conforto, Olympic gold medalist, and this is my friend Skipper the Parrot. Skipper and I want you to be safe this summer when you're around the water. Remember, rules keep it fun for everyone. Always follow the posted rules wherever you swim. Now, for more information on Skipper's water safety program, stop by your local Skipper's Seafood and Chowder House restaurant. A message from people who care about water safety.
Madonna will have to wait. That's a report for now.
Have a good night.
Good night.
I hate to travel. I always sit next to the guy who wants to talk to me the whole way. I mean, eventually he starts forming words.
I forgot to give you my card.
I thought maybe if I made better use of my time, I wouldn't have to travel so much. So I got some help from US West. I got the pager, cellular phone, which I could use right now if I hadn't locked my keys in the car. So I used the yellow pages to call a locksmith from a payphone, probably trying to call me back right now.
Lucky for me, I have US West voice messaging in the car.
The fax is a big help, too. It saves me a lot of trips. If I could just squeeze my body into this machine, I could fax myself around the world. Save me a lot of time. With all these time savers from US West, I'm making better use of my time. And I'm home more, so I can spend more time doing the things I want to do. Like talk to my girlfriend.
Hi, honey, it's Jake. I'm back.
I should have called sooner.
US West, making the most of your time. Perfect Strangers, weeknights on KXLY-TV4.